Hello and welcome to this video. I am going to be talking to you about the new Insight wireless reader by Inito. I have been trained to track my cycles by looking at cervical fluid, tracking basal body temperature. I don't really have the time to be tracking my cycles like I was before having a baby. Also, with postpartum hormones, things are more confusing and I really need to have reliable data to help me know what's going on. I'm 6 months postpartum and I am still not getting a good night's sleep, so basal body temperature tracking just isn't that accurate. So that is where this comes in. The Inito is able to do the heavy lifting for me, so I'm not having to keep track as much. It's less on my mental load. I do want to note though, fertility awareness is something that is used as birth control to avoid pregnancy. That is not the purpose of this. I'm so excited about what I just received in the mail. I'm going to try this out for the next month and see what my cycles are doing. I'm currently 5 months postpartum, so I'm very interested to see what's happening, if I'm gonna ovulate soon. So I'm gonna open this up, figure out how to use it, and I'm going to share with you guys my experience using this for a month postpartum. This is a new monitor. So the Insight wireless reader is their new one. So the original Inito monitor had to stay connected to your phone to use it. The big difference between this one and that monitor is the wireless function. You do not have to have this connected to your phone. Now I'm gonna just walk you through setting up. So you're gonna either sign in or you're gonna create an account if you don't already have one. Click on the profile on the bottom right, and then you're looking for settings and devices. So once you click on that, you can add a device and choose the Insight wireless reader, and then it's going to walk you through either scanning the QR code or entering a code manually. You can find that QR code on the box, or you can just enter the code manually if it's not working for some reason. It's going to show you this warning just reminding you not to stick the wrong end into the monitor, and then you're going to turn the device on. It's really clear walking you through each of these steps. You're going to press the button until your device powers on, and then you're going to want to connect to your device. So make sure you've got Bluetooth on so it can find your Insight wireless reader. If for some reason you're having trouble, you can click on Can't Find My Device, and it's going to walk you through troubleshooting. It's going to ask you these questions, and you can click on whichever one applies, and it's going to help you try to figure out what's wrong. For me, it just needed to get into pairing mode, so I needed to press and hold the button until that little Bluetooth light started blinking, because for some reason it wasn't doing that for me. And then the last step is going to be to connect your Wi-Fi to your device. You're just going to select your Wi-Fi out of the list of available ones that pops up. I didn't get a screen recording of this because we were having issues because we couldn't remember our Wi-Fi password. The Insight wireless reader only connects to 2.4 gigahertz secure networks. Using this is very simple, and I like that the app walks you through exactly what to do. You're going to click on the Take a Test button. You're going to use the little cup that comes with your fertility strips. You're just going to fill it to the line that's marked on there with urine, dip the paper end of the strip in there, and you're going to hold it there for 15 seconds, and the app will walk you through those 15 seconds so you don't have to just count it out or set a timer. And then you're going to remove the cap and just cover the wet side with it. You're gonna hold the test strip with the wet paper side pointing down, and then all you have to do is just press this button, wait for it to kind of connect, and then you're able to just insert the test strip. Just make sure that you have it so that the QR code is facing up and you're putting that end of the strip in. You don't want to be putting the wet end of the strip into the monitor. It could ruin it. That's all you have to do for the test. It just takes about 10 minutes and you can step away. You don't have to keep your phone right there beside it or anything. So this whole process only takes about a minute, and then I can get back to baby, and as long as baby's good. Usually what I end up doing is just kind of getting ready while this test is going, and usually by that time the test is done. Now, a couple notes on testing. First, you want to make sure you're using your first morning urine. This is going to be more concentrated, and using that every morning is going to just help give you more accurate results. And then the other thing is you want to start testing on cycle day 6. Cycle day 1 is day 1 of your period, the first day that your period starts. So that's how you count your cycle days, and that's how you know when to start testing. All right, I wanted to continue by talking about some things that I think it would be important and helpful to know about this fertility monitor. So the first is that it's testing for hormones. Some other like fertility monitors out there don't test all of those things. This monitor tests for E3G, which is a estrogen urine metabolite, PDG, which is a progesterone urine metabolite, and then LH and FSH. So the fertility strips that you get for this measure all 4 of those hormones. Another important feature, like I kind of talked about, is the wireless function. So as you can see, there's nothing that's connecting this to your phone. Your phone does not have to be attached to this. You don't have to like keep your phone right here by it for the duration of the test. You just dip the test strip, plug it in, and then you can step away to do a few things to take care of your baby and then come back to it. You definitely don't want to leave it all day. It can be a quick process. So you don't have to like pay any subscription to use the app. It shows you the graph. You can also enter in other symptoms. You can also track your basic body temperature. So that's kind of nice. You don't have to have like multiple apps if you do choose to get this monitor. There's all kinds of things that you can do through the app. And then it also shows you this day. It says waiting for PDG to rise. So this is kind of where I have been in my cycle for a while now because I just haven't ovulated yet. Another thing that this monitor will show you is your 6-day fertile window. So it shows you that ovulation is confirmed once that PDG is rising. And you can see here, if you are looking in the Inito app, it's able to answer these questions too. And it shows you an example of a chart, and you can see that there was high fertility. So that was showing you your first day of high fertility is the start of that 6-day fertile window. And then you had that peak fertility, and you can see a couple days after that, your PDG is starting to rise, and it shows you specifically that ovulation is confirmed. Another thing that is just really great to know is that it works on both iOS and Android. As you can see, looking at this data, it is not even comparable to just using LH strips. LH test strips just don't tell you a lot of information. I like them as a tool, but they're definitely not the most advanced tool. And then the last but probably most important feature about this monitor is the spectral mapping technology. It double checks your hormone data, and this is how it's giving you precise lab grade readings. And this is not something that any other fertility monitor on the market does. Knowing the technology is double checking my results in this way is what helps me really trust the data. And then I'll just show you here what it looks like on the app. You can just click on chart and it will show you all of your data. So let's scroll back here and you can see from the beginning the days that I don't take a test, that's where there's a gap. But otherwise, if you take a test every single day, it's going to connect the dots of your data. If you don't take a test every single day, it won't connect the dots, which is a little frustrating to see that. And you can see it showed me that I had peak day and then high fertility the day after. You can just click on these and uncheck whatever boxes if you don't want to look at them to make it a little more simple to look at. So looking at the PDG, which is a progesterone metabolite, you can see how it's just basically flat. There's nothing going on. You can see that the E3G, which is like an estrogen metabolite, has been rising and falling. FSH, LH, there have been some small increases, but nothing crazy going on there. Now, I did want to highlight that although I didn't ovulate, you can see here the times that my LH did rise, and that is where it's so nice to be using this monitor, because if I was just using LH test, it would have showed me that my LH peaked and I would think I ovulated. Because the PDG did not rise after those LH peaks, I know that I didn't actually ovulate. That's where this is such a good tool if you're trying to conceive, especially if you are trying to conceive postpartum. It can take a while for your hormones to get back on track. So this can help you know when you're actually ovulating. You can also enter your basal body temperature in there and it will also show up on your chart. So that is nice if that's something that you want to be doing as well. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about my experience actually using this for over a month, just how I felt about it overall, things I liked, things I didn't. So I started using this on March 9th. So it's been 5 weeks now that I've been using this. As you can see, this is a very simple device, so it's really not that hard to figure out. Plus, with the app walking you through every single step, there wasn't much of a learning curve. The only problem I would kind of have is sometimes if I press the button to kind of wake this up, too early. Sometimes I would have trouble with it connecting during the process of walking through on the app to take the test, because sometimes I would get ahead of myself. But once I went back to just waiting and pressing the button when it told me to, I didn't have that issue anymore. There's only one button on this, so that makes that easy. Everything's really clear about putting the test strip in, and it's pretty obvious what side of the test strip you want to put in there. So I didn't really have any issues with that. The only thing that was a little bit confusing to me, and I'm still not 100% on, is how I would use this if I don't want to walk through every step through the app, how that works. If I figure out the answer to this, I will definitely include a clip of that, or put it somewhere in this video. But I do like that it is easy to use and quick. It doesn't really take longer than a normal bathroom break would. And just another thing that I did really like about it was it's able to give me so much information by seeing that, like, oh, clearly my body is starting to try to ovulate, but because I'm still breastfeeding, it's not happening yet. I love that this monitor gives me precise results. It's not just telling you, yes, there's a surge, no, there's a surge. Like, it's actually giving you numbers. I like their price. Compared to some other monitors out there, I do feel like this is a little bit more of an affordable option for all of the data and all of the information that it's able to give you. So I would consider that kind of a pro, but also a con, because if you are in a weird spot with your cycle and needing to test every day, like I am being postpartum, it's kind of a lot if you have to get test strips. You would be going through 30 test strips about each month if you're testing every single day, and that would be $100 a month just on test strips. If you are testing with normal cycles, you should only have to use 15 test strips, maybe even less than that each month, because you would follow the prompting in the app. You'd start on day 6 of your cycle and then just kind of follow the prompts. With that, you would be paying $50 or less a month on test strips. A single hormone blood test can cost anywhere from $50 to $200. Basic ovulation predictor kits start around $30, and those give you very little information. So with the Inito, you are getting so much data over time at a fraction of the cost. So I do think for what you're getting, it really is a good price point. So that is all for this review. I really do like this monitor, and I just want to thank Inito for collaborating with me on this video. I have been using this brand for years. This is just my first experience, of course, with their newly launched Insight wireless reader. If you want to invest in your own monitor, use my code to get yourself a discount, and I will have that on screen and of course in the description of this video as well. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.